This is in India, torn apart by terror. Uri is a word that is familiar to the world now, sadly. How does your country view cross-border terrorism?
Terrorism in any form is unacceptable because we're not going to change the world by using terror. We can change the world only by strengthening the positive forces, and terrorism is totally negative. So, as I belong to a party that has been very, very particular about using non-violence to reach our goals, terrorism is not something that we can in any way tolerate or allow to grow.
India now has trouble with the military, but the Pakistani military, because as you are aware, the whole problem is that the cross-border terrorism is being used as an instrument of state policy. How can the world get together, Myanmar, other neighboring countries, India, to isolate a country that has been using terror as an instrument of state policy?
It's not so much a country that you isolate as terror itself. The belief in terror, the belief that terror will get you anywhere you want to go, that is what we need to isolate, because I think that human beings all over the world are the same basically in wanting peace, in wanting security. So why do they think that terror will achieve these ends? That is what we have to isolate. But these attacks are so frequent now all over the world that it's very sad to say that although of course it shocked us, it didn't surprise us. It's happening all the time in all parts of the world. This is why I say that it's terror itself that we need to attack and isolate.
India was forced to take action against terrorists. Would the international community and you, your country, support a surgical strike like this if there is evidence, if there is a terror nexus that has to be neutralized?
It's a very difficult question for me to answer because, as I said, we believe firmly in non-violence. Surgical strike also is a violent form of attack, if you like. All attacks are violent. So this puts us all in a quandary. How do we achieve the goals that Gandhiji was convinced we could achieve through peaceful means in this age of terror and terrorism? That is what we have to find an answer to. There may be times when we need to defend ourselves, and defense in any form, if it is defense on the battleground, it is a form of violence, and Gandhiji had to face that moral problem himself, and I think we all have to face it along the way. So I don't think we should lay down a principle saying all surgical strikes are acceptable. We have to look at these instances case by case. Otherwise, I think we'll be on the slippery slope of deciding that all strikes are acceptable.
The one worry India has is China is reaching out and supporting terrorists, international terrorists, or at least delaying action against international terrorists like Maulana Masood Azhar. How can the world work together?
As I said earlier, I really wish that we would think more of sharing. How about sharing our new privileges and our new powers instead of fearing each other, worrying about each other? It's not something easy to achieve because each and every person wants to protect his or her own patch, and that of course extends to societies and countries as well. But I have a basic belief in human nature in the sense that there are negatives and positives, but the positives will win out in the end. If that were not so, we'd still be running around in caves now.